And we saw UNDP, biggest brand corruption in Malaysia.
I'm Farhan bin Shahrudin. I'm an Associate Program Officer, specifically on Right to Information.
No, I'm Wachla, the Executive Director. So Syed is the Center for Independent Journalism. It's an organization that looks at freedom of expression as well as the information ecosystem and its intersections with media freedom, right to information, and rights within digital space.
Basically, when we talk about Freedom of Information Act, it's like a concept where the government holds data. We want to encourage people to ask for information because this kind of information is very crucial, especially when it pertains to the livelihood of the people, and also it is very important for people to have this kind of rights so that we can hold them accountable.
The message we send is one about transparency and proactive disclosure. That means it shouldn't be us knocking on the doors every day and asking for the information. Information should be made available. Sometimes we don't realize how critical it is to have access to information, right? And we saw UNDP, biggest brand corruption in Malaysia. We were able to continue with it because we didn't have access to simple things like cabinet meeting minutes. Every time we were fighting for information, media couldn't get access to the information. I think that then allows the corruption to continue. Our data is also impacting our behavior. Everything's being monitored, it's being captured, it's been stored by all kinds of platforms, our e-commerce platforms, our finance platforms. Even media is now moving towards not just about digitization, but it's also how it's looking at our personal data generally in terms of our preferences and recommender system, right? And then we look into AI, which is lending another lens to everything that we do in terms of within the digital sphere. Within that entire AI life cycle or supply chain, we are not the producers of the tech. So that means the tech is really owned by, I would generally say, Silicon Valley, if not China, and it's dependent on data that they are used to. So we are already bringing in certain level of bias even before it's being deployed. So there's a lot of things that we need to balance because one hand, yes, we say right to information or freedom of information is critical in terms of proactive disclosure. On the other hand, we must always remember that there must always be a layer of protection, especially when it comes to personal data and privacy.
The challenge of having like a robust or holistic FOI law is like to amend or to appeal OSA law altogether.
Overbroad classification. So it's almost every other document, as long as it's put into a folder, it's considered classified, despite the fact there are different rankings in terms of classification. Right? Second thing, broad powers of the minister. And I think the third challenge is also with regards to the Auster clause, where it cannot then be challenged in court. So there are multiple things. Ideally, in 2018, the previous administration had promised to repeal the Official Secrets Act as they move towards a federal RTI law. But the current administration says that they will amend the Official Secrets Act to ensure that it will be aligned. Our position has always been consistent, repeal. There is no reason to retain it because anything that is going to require any kind of classification or exemption would be included anyway under the Freedom of Information legislation. So it makes it kind of redundant to have two sets of law which can ultimately contradict each other or be in conflict with each other. But in the event they go ahead with the current position to ensure the amendments actually align with the new law. Because the danger is, we are seeing a pattern in Malaysia where a lot of the amendments actually is turning around and making it worse. Looking at the Communications and Multimedia Act, And I think we need to be very careful that we don't fall into the same pattern.
We talk about NGOs, we partner with C4 Centers, Senior Project, and also Article 19. So they have been our key partners for quite a long time. When it comes to the government agency, we work closely with Legal Affairs Division or BAYU. This kind of strategic collaboration helps us to reach out to the government officials, specifically because when we as CSO, we can educate the public at large. When it comes to the government officials, we need BAYU's help in terms of getting through the minds of the public servants that might have different conceptions of what FOI is, and also how we will help them, on conducting their work without being afraid of being punished by the law. Yeah.
This legislation, a right to information, sets us on a path towards a more robust information ecosystem. Right? A lot of our legislation now is about censoring, right, or controlling. But this is the only one that is really looking at proactively providing and disclosing information. So I think it's important to get the general public on board, but on board not to just accept everything the government is putting forward, but to push for the most robust and progressive standards that will be governing how FOI access will be.